All right. So, again, whatever you think about, talk about, fantasize about, give your attention to, and feel deeply about, you are going to attract more into your life. The more deeply you feel about it, the more adamantly you're going to attract it. So one of the principles I want to talk to you about, I talked a little about this earlier today with some of you, but I want to just remind us that you must take 100% responsibility for your life. Law of attraction basically says you're setting it up, you're creating it. And so you can act like you're not, but it's still going to work. If you don't believe in gravity, I don't believe in gravity. You ever known anyone that didn't believe in gravity and jumped off a building and floated? I mean, the law is working whether you believe in it or not. Okay? So it's really not important you believe in it. It's important you understand it and cooperate with it so you can create more of what you want in your life. So that requires that you're going to give up blaming and complaining about other people creating your life. Law of attraction basically states that everything in your life you've attracted. Nobody else can interfere with that attraction. You can't blame it on if only my wife were more this, then I would attract more of this into my life. Now, we do know this from the work of Dr. John Hagelin, who you may have seen in the movie The Secret also. He's a physicist, Harvard trained. He's published many, many articles in what they call juried articles, where people, other physicists read them and review them, and he's a very, very respected physicist. And he's now hypothecating that the force field that you create when you're thinking and intending and feeling strongly about something, like you have an intention, for world peace, or for being a millionaire, or for stopping hunger in your county, or, housing humanity through Habitat for Humanity, whatever it might be your intention is, that the force field created by that, what one of my friends, Zendebruck, calls the attractor field that you create, is the square of the number of people having the same intention at the same time. Now think about that. If I'm intending for me to be healthy, that's one person. If the two of us are intending that, my doctor and myself, or my wife and myself, and we're holding that intention in a meditation or a prayer group at that same time, so it's people, same intention at the same time, now we have a force field of 4, because the square of 2 is 4. If the 3 of us were doing it, it's a force field of 9. 100, it's a force field of 10,000. This is why prayer groups, which there's been so much research about group healing, and Larry Dossey's work you can read, basically what happens is that you get a whole bunch of people holding the same intention at the same time, and it can in fact have a huge impact. And I'll show you some other things later that reinforce that in the physical realm that was being done as physics research right now. So nobody can stop you, but people working together with a common intention can accelerate through this dynamic of the attractor field being the square of the number of people. Now think about this. If you live in a corporation, you work in a corporation, and you've got 9 people, and 7 of them are really looking at the same direction, and 2 aren't, okay? Would it make sense to try to get those 2 on board, to enroll them in the vision, to do whatever it takes? Because your attractor field is going to go from 25 to 49. That's a huge jump. It's a double just by getting 2 more people enrolled in the game. So, to have the family all working with a similar set of values, to have a nation with a similar set. I mean, we have a very fractionated nation right now. Half the nation is conservative, half the nation is fairly liberal and democratic, and every election is won by a small minority. But if we could get us all focusing in the same direction, even if we don't always agree on the same how-to, but the same goal, we would have a lot more happening in terms of getting results, what we want to see happening in the world. Okay. Now, Jim Rohn said you can't hire other people to do your push-ups for you. I love that, right? It's not them that's going to do the work for me, it's me. I'm going to do the thinking, the meditating, the visualizing, the forgiveness work, the journal writing, all the things that will accelerate this work. I'm going to be the one responsible for maintaining my vibration. How many of you have ever woken up in the morning and said, I know I'm not in a good mood. Those people last night at the party, they really ticked me off, and I can't get over it. Or, that person ruined my day. Right? You heard say that call ruined my day. Like someone out there is responsible for your vibration. Someone out there is responsible for your mood. It's not true. It's what you're thinking about what they said. It's your attitude, your beliefs about it. And I'll give you some tools as we go through this about how to release those kind of things when they show up, but we'll get there when we get there. So you can't hire other people to do your thinking, your visualizing, or your managing of your emotional vibration. Most people don't wake up in the morning and go, oh, I'm responsible for how I feel today. What am I going to do to keep my vibration high? You know, I mean, even people in California don't wake up and say stuff like that, right? But really, one of the most important things is that you keep yourself feeling good. One of the main teachers, Esther Hicks, says that there's nothing more important than you feel good. If you're not feeling good, you've got to stop what you're doing and say, what can I do to raise my vibration, to create what they call a better feeling thought? Give you an example of this. If I say, you know, my wife forgets my birthday, and I say, wow, my wife forgot my birthday. I'm miserable. You know, it means she doesn't love me. That's not a great thought. It creates a miserable feeling. Or I could say in the same situation, wow, someone who loves me forgot my birthday. Raise the thought up. There's no men in this town. How am I ever going to find someone to get married? There's no men in this town. Is that going to leave you feeling good? No. But if you go, there must be some men in this town, because Georgia just got married, and Marcy has a nice husband. That's two men I can think of, you know. Now, if they found a man, probably there's someone else that, you know, I bet there's someone now perfect for me, and they're on their way, and I just have to open up and receive them into my life. That's going to leave you feeling better. Now, you could say, well, that's not very realistic. If you really look around, Montecito, where I live, there's all these women and not that many men, you know, and that's a fact. Washington, D.C., there are more women than men because there are secretarial kind of efforts that go on here. It's mostly a bureaucracy. But the point is, people get married. So you're not interested in everyone else. You. There's someone coming for you. That's all that matters. And if you focus on that as opposed to there are not enough men in this town, I'm going to die an old maid, and then you feel bad, and what man's going to be attracted to a woman who's walking around like this? You know? You want to be someone who's excited. How? I'm happy. And you also want to be someone who goes, wow, even if there never were a man, I'm still complete. You know? That's another thing that raises your vibration. So you really want to look at, anytime you're not feeling good, what's a different thought you could be thinking? Now, we never got trained to do that in school. Anyone have a class on that? When you were going to grade school, elementary school, high school, graduate school, how to raise your feelings by thinking better thoughts. No. But it's one of the most important things you can ever learn. And so I used to wear a rubber band on my hand, and every time I thought a negative thought, I would snap myself. Not to punish me, but to heighten my awareness. It got my attention. And then I would say, okay, what's a better thought I can think? And I would go to another thought. All right. So one of the laws that underlies the law of attraction is what we call the law of vibration. And what it says is that everything in the universe is vibrating. Right now, every cell in you is a vibration. If you go to the subatomic level, everything's vibrating, all right? And so if everything's vibrating, the other thing we know is your thoughts affect the vibration. Your thoughts can change the vibration. We talk about people with good vibes, people with bad vibes. I mean, it's in the language. You know, the Beach Boys, good vibrations. We walk into a room, I don't like the vibes in here, I want to leave. You know, that person has bad vibes. So the vibration that's going on is controllable by your thoughts. We know from physics that everything exists in a state of potential, in this thing they call the quantum field or the 0-point field. And what happens is when you think a thought, it actually aggregates more thoughts to that. It aggregates energy to that, and it starts to move into a form of manifestation. And so we are responsible, again, for focusing on the vibrations that are going to attract to us what we want. So you always focus on what you want, not the obstacles. Because the more I focus on the obstacle. How many times have you had this experience? You're driving on a bicycle and you see a rock in the road. If you keep looking at that rock, what are you going to do? You're going to hit it. You know what my dad taught me? Look at the space between the rock and the next object. You know, because wherever your attention goes, your energy flows. You notice you're driving down the road in your car and you see a cow over there looking really interesting, and all of a sudden you're driving off the side of the road, right? So we know in our physical reality that works. So it also works on the more esoteric metaphysical level. Okay. So your body is an energy in high speed of vibration fed by thoughts and directives from your brain. Now I'm going to do a little activity with you here. I want you to look at the bottom of your hand, and I want you to see there's going to be a little line across the bottom where the wrist is. You all got that? Okay. So I want you to overlap that line on this hand exactly over the other line so they're 100% lined up. And then just extend your hands like this into a prayer position. Everyone got that? Now if you look at your hands, you're going to see that one hand is just a little shorter than the other. One's a little longer than the other. Most of you see that? Okay. If that's true, take the shorter hand and put it in front of your face. If it's not true, take either hand and put it in front of your face. It's irrelevant, okay? Now, we're going to look at this hand, and we're going to say 8 times in unison, all out loud together, grow longer. We're going to give the intention to the hand to grow longer, okay? So we're going to do it on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Grow longer, 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 grow longer. One more time. Grow longer. All right, now line them up again perfectly, just the way you did last time. And notice what happened. No, 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 no. You've just entered the twilight zone. Now, first of all, some bad news about this for the men in the room. So far, the research has only shown that this happens with the hands, okay? So anyway, don't waste your time. But what we did, we just had an intention, a mental thought intention, and it created a physical response in your body. Just a very small example of how powerful pure intention is. And there wasn't a lot of resistance in the room with that. It was just called, well, what the heck, do it, see what happens. And boom, okay? Now, look at your hand again, same hand. And we're going to say 6 times, because that's all it takes for this, back to normal, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Back to normal, 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 back to normal. Stop. Line them up again. How weird is that, right? I actually have a teacher of mine by the name of Chunyi Lin. He's a Qigong master from China. One of these guys who spent like 6 years meditating in a cave type guys. He now works in conjunction with the Mayo Clinic over there, and he teaches people energy healing. And he can literally come out, I don't have the power yet, but he can come out and he can literally have you put your hands up like this. He'll have you do this, and then he'll just have you put your short hand up, and he'll just go like this with his hands. And from the power of his intention, you go back and your other hand is now longer. That's what's possible. Most of us are never going to go sit in a cave for 6 years to be able to do that. Not all that useful a skill. You know, hey, you want to see something cool? You know. But qi being the Chinese word for energy, you know, Tai Chi, you see all those people doing those slow movement stuff. He's learned how to control the flow of energy with his mind at such a high level that he can manifest all kinds of things, including healing cancers with people and so on and so forth. Very, very powerful. And he can teach you how to do your own. You may remember in the movie The Secret, the woman who talked about getting rid of breast cancer, the guy who walked out of the hospital after they said he'd never walk again. This grow longer thing is the exact same thing we're doing. They just do it for longer with a bigger intention for a bigger part of the body called I'm going to walk again, or I'm going to heal my cancer, or get rid of leukemia. So we know that this stuff works. You just have to take the time to do it. All right.